This is KGW News at noon.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Brenda Braxton. We start in Uvalde, Texas, where it's now been 1 week since a gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers at Robb Elementary School. The first funeral services are today. 10-year-old Amerie Joe Garza was laid to rest this morning. As the services continue, the conversation is turning to gun control. Right now, Democrats and Republicans are working on a bipartisan plan to address gun violence. It includes expanded background checks and red flag rules banning those deemed to be a danger from buying weapons.
So when you see people about to blow, give the cops, and with plenty of due process, the chance to go stop it before it starts.
Also on the table, more school safety restrictions and potentially raising the gun buying age to 21. President Biden has also mentioned a ban on automatic weapons, but says his executive powers only go so far. Congress is on recess this week, but hopes to have a bipartisan deal by June 6th. This morning, we heard from a Texas man who rushed to Robb Elementary School. His wife and daughter were in the building during the shooting. Jacob Alvarado appeared on the Today Show. He's a Customs Border Protection agent. Last Tuesday, he was in a barber shop when he got a text from his wife saying, "There's an active shooter. Help. Love you." He rushed to the school and was allowed inside because he knew other officers on scene.
As I was going in, I could just see kids coming out of the windows and kids coming my way. So I was just helping all the kids out. I was trying to contact my wife, see where my wife was at. My wife finally texted me or called me, told me she was across the street at the funeral home. After that, my next thing was to go and get my daughter.
Your wife had made it out safely,
she made it
but
out,
your daughter
yeah,
was still there.
Exactly. I didn't know where the shooter was at. I knew he had shot in the building. I didn't know if he was still there or not.
What was that moment like when you saw your daughter?
When I saw my daughter, it was a big relief. Yeah.
Despite all the scrutiny of the law enforcement response, Alvarado believes the officers did the best they could under the circumstances. This noon, we're hearing from a retired police officer who tried to save a woman's life after a serious crash. His name is Steve Harmon. Last Friday, he and his wife were driving down Northwest Yeon Avenue when they spotted this wreck. Harmon immediately jumped in to help, reaching through a broken window and holding the woman's head up so she could breathe. Portland Fire arrived several minutes later and pulled the woman out of the car, but she later died at the hospital. Harmon says it was his training as a policeman and a Marine that pushed him to intervene.
Brought back memories of when I was on a job, and it's very sad when someone loses their life over that.
This is just one of 27 deadly crashes in Portland so far this year. Last year, 63 people died in traffic crashes, the highest number in about 30 years. Frustration is growing for a North Portland towing company that had several trucks stolen off its lot. The owners say they're out of options and not getting much help from the city or Portland police. Here's Galen Etlin.
A towing and storage yard company in Portland says criminals keep coming back because they know there are no consequences.
They had to get the truck right out from over here.
To Tamra Zelmer, this is more than a storage yard.
My dad, he's 80 years old. He's had the property since back in the 70s.
Her family business, Zelmer Enterprises on North Columbia Boulevard in Portland, is part of a legacy.
There's the truck there. They stole that truck.
A legacy being damaged. On Sunday, thieves took one of the business's tow trucks and drove right through the storage yard's iron gate.
Busted it up.
They have a snapshot of 2 people in the front seat and say this is not the first theft.
Doesn't seem to be an end in sight.
You can only do so much.
Douglas Barty was lucky and found the truck a couple miles away the next day.
I'm just glad to have it back because this is my livelihood, you know.
He says this type of break-in and theft has happened at least 3 times at Zelmer Enterprises. This other truck has been stolen twice.
You said they cut the latch.
And storage units have been broken into. When they've confronted thieves and called police, officers responded hours later.
Nobody seems to want to do anything about it.
What are we going to do? You know, we can't stand in the middle of the road and tell them to stop.
Douglas worries growing crime, a next-door encampment, and drug use are part of the problem, illustrated by the vehicles he tows.
8 out of 10 cars have needles in them from fentanyl and heroin.
It's a bigger picture than right here.
Tamara says each break-in results in loss of customers. She's begging for a stronger presence by the city and police.
When we've asked, well, what do we do? And they said, well, you need to protect what is yours. He came through here and
the fight to protect a family legacy.
The business is just one that the Zelmers say is feeling the neighborhood impact. They're now trying to fix their gate, which could cost thousands, and block in their trucks and entrances with other cars and cement blocks. But they feel it'll all just happen again. Galen Etlin, KGW News.
Washington State Patrol says more and more drivers are refusing to stop when troopers try to pull them over. These numbers are staggering. The agency reported more than 900 failure to yield incidents from January 1st through mid-May. WSP says part of the problem may be that drivers know troopers can't chase them. A new law prevents high-speed pursuits except in very limited circumstances. Turning now to the pandemic. Students at the University of Oregon say the school has run out of space for kids who test positive for COVID. Students say they're now quarantining in their dorm rooms instead of temporary housing set up by the university. We've heard from students who say they feel safe in their dorms, but are concerned because there are a lot of communal areas like dorm bathrooms. U of O's website says students must remain in their room except to get food, take a shower, or step outside for some fresh air. Around the world, a 2-month-long lockdown is finally coming to an end in China's biggest city. Leaders in Shanghai just announced a reopening plan that starts tomorrow. They'll resume subway and bus service and restore rail connections with the rest of China. Retailers will begin reopening, and schools will also partially reopen on a voluntary basis. In April, as many as 20,000 cases were recorded every day in Shanghai, but that number fell to just 29 on Monday. Okay, let's take a live look outside. There is plenty of sunshine on your Tuesday afternoon. There's the view from our Rose City Sky Cam. Lots of blue sky. Rod Hill is here now with a closer look at your forecast.
Good afternoon, everybody. Having a terrific Tuesday so far, and still expecting a lot of the valley, including Portland, to see the warmest temperatures later today that we've seen so far this year. We are looking at the system offshore. These clouds will be shearing, meaning thinning, and spilling into us overnight tonight into the day tomorrow. And that's key because depending on how thick those clouds turn out to be on Wednesday or not, we could hit 80 tomorrow. For this afternoon, here we are at 6 p.m. getting into the evening. The only rain chances, an isolated shower or a thunder shower out over the Blue Mountains, and maybe some showers up in the Washington Cascades outside of Longview. Otherwise, we're dry. We're in the 60s right now. If we make it to 77, today will become the warmest we have seen so far this year, and that's your forecast.